an attacker gets your information, what are they going to utilize that? Are they going to come to your residence? Are they going to meet you at your place of business? Polling location, whatever the case is. I think the true danger is going to be more of the virtual aspect of that, right? So the long-term effect in the digital world, virtual world, doxing is what we kind of like to call that. So taking that information, name, date of birth, residence, friends, family, social media, URLs and so forth, and just blasting that out there to whoever is going to listen and whoever is going to take a look at it. The three that come to mind are going to be social media posts, political donation receipts, state property assessor databases, and these kind of like third party property sites, Zillow, Redfin. For political donations, a lot of people don't realize, and they may not just think about it at the time, but there is going to be some type of address that is attached to that donation. Most of the time, these people utilize their personal addresses. All you have to do is go to the FEC political donation site, search first name, last name. You have an entire list of however many donations there are. I could look at the receipts, and then I could see very clearly your first name, your last name, your residence. And then if you're a donor, chances are potentially the spouse is a donor. So they're going to be listed on that same receipt because of, the same last name. So I now have your access to your spouse and what they do for a living, and if there's any other residences. And then the state property assessor sites is just not every state is going to be the same, and the data that you can receive from these sites are going to differ from jurisdiction to jurisdiction. But if I have access to your name and just your residence, which again I can obtain from White Pages or True People Search, these third-party people search sites, I can then go into the state assessor site with your name, your address, search that, and then I can get potential property documents, right? I can get previews of deeds, what's on that deed, monetary information, names, personal signatures that can then be taken and utilized for fraudulent purposes, and so forth. Not listening to certain recommendations that we would make, getting rid of that old Instagram profile that you don't use anymore, or changing your property to an LLC or something like that. We take so much time and effort and put it into these investigations that we have very tailored recommendations that if you were to follow them and do them correctly, how we say, then you're going to be as private as possible, right? We're the ones doing the research for months and months at a time. So if we're going to recommend it, then it is in your best interest to go ahead and do so. But again, it's their decision to make, and ultimately, they're the final say. So that would be definitely one of them. Not listening to recommendations based off the research that was just conducted. Be proactive versus reactive. You're the protector of this executive, the executive's families. So be proactive, get on top of it. I know sometimes it could be a little annoying to the executive and their family saying, hey, listen, we have to do this. But we always recommend doing that. They are some of the most busy people, right? Even if you're not the most busy person, they have things going on, right? We all have things going on, but stay on top of them and say, hey, we need to remove this. We recommend doing this, and so on and so forth. Also, when it comes to being the protectee, you're the person that is essentially in charge of the security for this executive and their family. So you're basically putting your neck on the line as well. So make sure that you are up to date as well, because technically you are a link to that family. The ultimate goal is to make sure that the executive and their family is protected and private and secure. But again, you are doing this research, you are following up and so forth on our recommendations. So you need to be as private as well.